All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Just a Fan Podcast is back for another week. What's up, y'all? All right. I am the quarter host, the Wildcat quarterback that runs this thing, NFL Encyclopedia, Coach Williams, that direction, panel 316, the defensive mind of the show, the Austin 316 of the show. What's up, man?
Oh man, I can't call it. It's preseason. You know how people get excited about preseason games, and they, teams win a preseason game against backups, and all of a sudden, they Super Bowl bound, stuff like that. It's like, or vice versa. People lose a preseason game, and like all is lost. It's preseason. We gonna see what it's gonna turn out to be. But I did see some things that I did like this preseason, and we're going to talk about it. And if you're watching tonight, feel free to go in the comment box and comment about your game that you watched, the games that you watched, and, and feel free to join in and interact with us.
Definitely. I mean, and, people need to learn that for preseason, man, it's really for roster bubble players. It's about the young guys, moving up or down the depth chart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Regardless of position. That's what preseason is for. You're trying to set your roster. And now you have fewer games because it used to be 4 games of preseason. Now it's down to 3. Mm-hmm. So, people need to stop saying, somebody's they stop saying, oh, well, just because we won a game, we're going undefeated and we're going to the Super Bowl, or, we lose a game, or even start trash talking like I saw a Commanders fan, content creator talking about Dallas is trash just because they lost to Jacksonville. I said, huh?
It was like a 1-point game.
Yeah. Well, they lost by 5, but it was a 1 touchdown game, but even still, But even still, it's
a 1-score game. It's like, but it's you're talking about backups versus guys who may not even be there when the season starts because of cut. It's like we have to, y'all. We got to do better as NFL fans, and I get it. Fan is short for fanatic. That's the thing. Fan is short for fanatic.
Exactly.
So we got to have some sense, man. Like if your team lost this week, don't cry a river. If your team won this week, you need to calm down. Good for you, okay, but calm down, man. It's like, and we feel, we got it now. We all, whoa! It's like, man, sit down, man. Shut up. Could be the main people that by the end of the season, their team is like 5-13. Something, I don't know.
3-14. Shoot.
Like that. And it's like, what was all that you was talking
during the preseason?
Like,
man, shoot.
Preseason football.
And now your team's picking number 2 overall, still looking for a quarterback.
Right. So yeah, man, it is what it is. So but to my NFL fans, those of y'all that got excited this weekend, one way or the other, whether it's oh my God, the sky's falling, or whether you're like, yeah, boy, we in this thing. Both of y'all need to calm down. Both sides of the spectrum, y'all need to calm down. Seriously.
Woosah.
Yeah, it's
like the movie Bad Boys 2. Woosah.
Right. Yeah. Adding pressure points on your ears like Martin Lawrence.
There you go.
Yeah. Because
All
I've
right.
seen some stuff online on social media.
Oh, hey, look. You know Twitter's notorious for that stuff, man.
Yeah, this, that, and the third, man. It's one preseason game. Typically, the starters don't even play for the preseason game. Although the Chiefs did play their starters for a couple of series against the Saints, which it couldn't be me. I can't do it. I think you nobody got hurt, but I couldn't do that, man. I couldn't. I couldn't put them out there like that. Oh, look what they cat done drug in here. It's Trish TV, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on? What's going on?
What's up, man? Hey, man, we just getting started, man. We about to get into this preseason talk, man. I do want to lead off with the thoughts on Jordan Love 7 for 10 for 49 yards and a touchdown preseason game, Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
Um, from what I understand, Jordan Love looks like he has a good connection with his young receivers. Um, I, it's some kind of growth, I guess, and I think not next week because this is week 2 coming up. I think this week he needs to put some. When I say put some more yards out there, because like 7 for 10 is good for completion percentage, but the yards to me is just low, and so I want to see him. I want to see him take a little bit more of a risk, maybe once, just to see what it looks like.
Well, I'm gonna say this about that. It could be that they bringing him along slow, which
I
is
get that.
cool. And 7 for 10. Okay, we're gonna go out there. We're gonna make you throw 10 passes. See if you can complete them all. All right, that's enough. We ain't seen enough. Come on out for today. And I think his workload is going to increase as the season goes. The preseason goes on. And excuse me, whew, long day at work. That's why we need to monetize this show so I can quit my job. But we need to. We basically need to like pause for a minute and just say, okay, let's enjoy what he did right at that moment. Because most of your starting quarterbacks got a very small sample size. I mean, Pat Mahomes, I'm trying to remember what his stat line was. I think he threw all of maybe 8 passes, I believe. And then they pulled him on out of there.
Yeah,
So
but see, Pat Mahomes is something different.
Pat Mahomes, well, I mean, we can make the argument that Pat Mahomes shouldn't even been out there.
Well,
We know what he is.
yeah, exactly. So my thing is, so that's why I'm saying for like for Jordan Love, I get trying to bring him along slowly, but I want to see him take a risk downfield and see what happens with that. What did he see that made him attempt that one pass? You see what I'm saying? Not just because the play was called, but what did the safeties do? Did they stay in that too deep, or did they rotate into single high? And what was your read?
You're asking for too much. You're asking
Yeah,
for
I
too
was
much
about
in the first preseason game. Think
thank
No,
you.
about
no,
it
no,
like
no, no,
this.
no, no, no. I'm saying I want to see it this week.
Okay, yeah. This week that'll probably be
That's what
different,
that's
but
what I want to see. I'm not asking
what
for
they
week 1. This week I want to see that.
yeah because when I think of it, the first preseason game of him being QB1 for the Green Bay Packers, following Aaron Rodgers, can you imagine what the media circus would have been is if they tried to let him do too much in that first preseason game and he looked bad and
No,
he
I
looked out
get
of
it.
sync.
Nah,
So they did the absolute right thing. Give him easy completions, let him gain confidence and game action, let him gain his confidence, and then you just like Eric said, just slowly expand it more and more and more. I mean, we're not going to treat him so much like a rookie because I mean you've been in the league for about 3-4 years,
right.
but at the same token, you ain't been the starter. So and Green Bay, to be quite honest, have been spoiled for the last 3 decades. So they're not going to accept him being mediocre. So they gotta slow walk it to get the fans, get the media to not crucify this boy before it's time.
And then I think Green Bay handled Jordan Love better than the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan handled Trey Lance.
Well, I mean, we're gonna get into that, but I agree.
Yeah, I mean, they bringing him along slow. He hasn't had a lot of playing time, and they doing things that give him some confidence so they can build upon that instead of saying, "All right, go out there and just just go." It's like, no, man, no. So we'll see. We'll see about this because it's not enough to we haven't seen enough. It's preseason game week 1. We haven't seen enough. Here's another factor that we haven't talked about that you need to consider.
Okay.
Most coaches are not showing their hand in the preseason. They're running very vanilla coverages on defense. They're
That's true.
running very vanilla plays on offense.
Not the Browns.
They're not tipping their. So I
Yeah.
didn't watch the Browns game, so I don't know.
The
So yeah.
Browns doing zero blitzes and stuff. Jim Schwartz over there.
Oh, Jim, well, that's his personality. He's just
yeah, man, but it's preseason, man. Like you sit here running zero blitz, man. Like, okay, we're gonna send 6 or 7 players, depending on how many you put into the route.
Yeah, it just okay. Let me qualify what I just said. Most coaches are not going to tip their hand in the preseason. You're not finna see really. You're gonna see the very basic, bottom of the barrel, vanilla play calling. That's all you're gonna see in the preseason, especially when you're trying to evaluate guys who or maybe going from one level of the team to say bench to starter, or guys who are just trying to be on the outside trying to make the team. You want to see them do the basic things. Can they execute these basic things? And that's going all the way from quarterback all the way to kicker.
Yep.
And that's another thing. I want to talk about this kicker. You're gonna spend a third round on the kicker and Joker miss both. I'm sorry. I'm just Joker missed both them kicks.
All right. So
that's your boy.
Indoors.
all right. So Jordan Love. So Jordan Love. We'll see how he progresses this coming week when they play their next preseason game. Tristan, I know you are the resident Commanders fan. How does Sam
Yep.
Howell look?
Listen, man. Now I'm critical on quarterbacks, even the ones, especially I shouldn't even say even, especially ones from my own team.
Right.
Listen, man, it was a pretty solid showing. The things that I look for with quarterbacks, especially when they're young like that, I'm not necessarily looking. You may have like your completion percentage might not be great or anything like that. Like I'm sure we'll talk about Bryce Young in a little bit as well. But for Sam Howell, what I saw was a guy that didn't flinch. What I always look for when I look at training camp and I look at clips and stuff and people talking about, oh, how Sam Howell look, how does he look, how does he this, how does he do that, and I would hear the guys will say, oh, he's never too high, he's never too low, he stays even keel, he da 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 da. But they're gonna, I'm always like, well, people are always gonna boost up their guy. They're always gonna talk good about their guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But let me see it in action. And I saw it in action. It wasn't too high, it wasn't too low. When he made big plays, it wasn't like he was jumping around like, yeah, let's, you know what I'm saying? And then when he had not so good plays, he still that facial, it was almost the Eli Manning effect. Is that same facial expression. It's just like we're just even keel. You don't know if he's upset, you don't know if he's happy. But as far as throwing the football, man, I mean, it's confident. You can see that the ball does jump out of his hand. I ain't saying he got a cannon, but he definitely got a nice little, AK on it. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like,
Right.
so, it got some pepper in it. And the big thing I liked is that, we know we have questions in regards to the offensive line. I'm sure EB is going to fix that up because he made mid-game adjustments that were better. So I'm not completely concerned about the offensive line, but I love the fact that Sam Howell didn't panic, use his legs, use his athleticism to buy the time, find open spots. When he ran strong, put his shoulder down a little bit. Other times when he got out the pocket, moved around, found the open man, made great throws on the run. And those are the things that I want to see. I was definitely confident. Looking forward to seeing game 2 of them, but it was encouraging watching Sam Howell play on Friday, especially with all the talk of, is he going to be the guy, whatever, the jury still might be out on that. But for that for him to be QB1 going in there, especially Jim Schwartz defense, he did all right.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that sounds good because, like you said, Jim Schwartz was running cover zero. And for those who are not familiar with cover zero, that means no safeties deep, all out blitz, man coverage across the board. And for a young quarterback, that can be very, very difficult. So, Sam Howell was confident and did not let the blitzes get to him. To me, that says a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm big about young QBs looking poised. And that was something that I said watching it. That was something I was hearing from all the, commanders, media,
Beat
all the
writers.
radio stuff, beat writers. It was the poise of Sam Howell out there. Like he looked like he belonged. He wasn't the lights weren't big. He didn't look lost. He understood where the ball needed to go. He was able to improvise when he knew to improvise. That was encouraging to see. You want to see that. Again, he's not Patrick Mahomes, but it gave you some of the stuff he did was like Patrick Mahomes light. It was just they kind of have those kind of instincts to do certain things. But I may be one of the few people that's not surprised because I was one of the few people that watched him at North Carolina. And I said, if you give him an opportunity to play like he did at North Carolina, you're going to see something. Because when he had them tools, this was a guy that was projected not only to be a first rounder, but projected to be the number one or top five pick when he had pieces around him. And Washington definitely got some pieces. Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin. I like Turner, the young tight end. Bates dropped an easy pass on an out route, man, that would have made Sam Howell look even good. Sam Howell hit it right in his hands. But he dropped it. But Turner looked great. So we'll see what they do about Logan Thomas because the young tight ends look good. And the running backs look strong. And like I said, seeing Eric Bieniemy adjust mid-game, that's something we haven't seen for years in Washington. Is a coordinator that can adjust mid-game. So, I mean, we don't even get them to adjust after the game. It take them about 8 weeks. But
Wait, I didn't know that was an elimination game. What you mean this is an elimination? This was an elimination game we just played? What?
Listen, I was definitely encouraged. I mean, Jack Del Rio still wants to do this, soft base defense. God, it kills me. But I'm hoping it's just because it was preseason and he's got something else cooked up because he's got some athletes in that secondary that can really lay some wood. So I want him to take advantage of that.
I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt on what the play calling in preseason. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Now, once the season is started, I will barbecue you and then dip you in cornmeal and fry you.
Well, listen, Jack Del Rio, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, but Eric Bieniemy, nah, he was doing some nice play calls. He had some nice calls. So I'm encouraged.
Okay.
Okay.
So this week we had some signings that happened because we've been talking about the running back market and how it has almost bottomed out this year, and this is not a trend. I think this is going to be an ongoing thing for the future. Running backs are just not going to be valued very much, but we did have two household name running backs signed with new teams this week, and it was really interesting.
Yes. Ezekiel Elliott signed a 1-year contract worth up to $6 million with the New England Patriots.
That's a lot for a backup center. I'm just saying.
It's $3 million base, $1 million signing bonus, and $2 million worth of incentives. And then Dalvin Cook signed a 1-year contract with the Jets, and I think his is either $8 million or up to $8 million. I forgot what the exact language was. So
I'm really interested in the Jets signing of Dalvin.
Both running backs, veterans are on AFC East teams. Eric, talk to us about either one or both. Or let's talk about it.
First of all, $6 million is way too much for a backup center. So I'm gonna table the Ezekiel Elliott
running back.
Leave that man alone.
His last play in Dallas was a center.
Leave that man alone.
That was one play. That was one play by Kellen Moore. Okay.
Okay, but yeah, Dalvin Cook. Um, when you think about the type of offense that the Jets are going to be running, who their quarterback is, and then Brees Hall has just been cleared to come back. He's going to be coming back to play.
He's
So
off the pup list.
That's
yes,
right.
yes. So you have a 1-2 punch that's deadly. Because Dalvin Cook still has a lot in the tank. He's not, and comparing Ezekiel Elliott to Dalvin Cook is not even fair at this point because Ezekiel Elliott is a shadow of his former self. Okay, that's not hate. That's just fact. The Joker had like barely 3 yards of carry last year.
No, that's
Okay,
true. I think it's
his
like
average
3.6 or something.
yeah. It's like it wasn't good. He was only a short yardage. And we talked about it on the air. I would always say, hey man, Tony Pollard is on Zeke tail. And I didn't say tail. I was like, hey, Zeke, hey man, y'all paying Zeke all his money. And Tony Pollard is eating. He the one that's, so I said I foresaw Zeke's release. I think we all predicted it. And then he got released, and it's like, okay, who finna pay him? And all jokes aside, that's a fair deal that New England gave him because it's like what 3, and if he with incentives he can make 6, something like that.
Yeah, so like I said, it's 3 million in base, 1 million signing bonus, and then 2 million in incentives.
Yeah, and here's the thing: if he's not able to make those incentives for his contract this year. It's a 1-year deal. This is a bold take. It's a hot take. I think Ezekiel Elliott is done in the NFL if he's not able to produce for the New England Patriots next year.
Oh, of course he would.
I think his career is done.
Oh
The
yeah,
only
that'll be it.
yeah,
Uh,
Zeke was brought in to be a short yardage back and a pass protector. Because I think he still might be good enough in pass protection as a 6th player. So that would help out Mac Jones get the ball out. Just give him an extra second to make the pass to try to complete a pass to who besides Juju Smith. Not really a whole lot because Mac Jones has no perimeter players whatsoever.
no,
When you give a player that kind of contract with incentives, it's like what you're telling the player is,
prove it.
hey, I think you can be that guy again, but you got to prove it.
You got to prove it.
Well, he's definitely not going to be 2016 Zeke Elliott. So my question is, then what are you looking for?
I don't think people are looking for 2016. I think they just want to see something of him. He looked terrible except for goal line situations. But you're talking about somebody that was as dynamic as him coming out of Ohio State. You're resorting to being just a short down back. There's got to be a little more juice in there. And if there isn't, we can't pay you to just be a short down guy
Yes,
unless you're willing to accept those minimal payments, like
yes.
league minimum, because that's all you're going to be good for is the goal line and pass
Mm-hmm.
protection.
And quiet as kept. I mean, you can find a guy that's younger that could just be your short yardage back. They could be your thumper.
Oh, I agree, but
Exactly.
I don't know,
There's a
man.
bunch of them in college. A bunch
I,
of them.
I just feel like that's all he's going to be good for. Now, he might get a nice 10-yard carry or he might get a nice 15-yard carry every so often, but I'm not just seeing a whole lot out of Zeke this year.
I mean,
Yeah.
even his offseason videos, that the cuts he make are not the cuts he had even like 2 years ago. Like, yeah, I'm not even looking back at 2016. I'm talking about 2 years ago. It's not the same kind of you could tell he needs like a little like to pick up a head of steam before he can get going. Once he get going, I think he got some juice in him. But one thing that was good about him was that in short areas he was able to make moves and then he would burst. And he ain't got that in him anymore.
No. Yeah, that's he doesn't have that. I'm really because coming from me saying what I'm saying, people gonna be like, oh, he just hating on the Cowboys. But I'm serious. Zeke career is pretty much done.
I agree.
And he is going to have to do some just amazing things in New England in order for him to stay in the league. Because
the problem is that they thought the way he ran when he came into the league, they thought I think they felt, and honestly the league probably felt they were getting another Emmett, and his body just could not take all of that. You give him over 350 plus carries a season, he just can't take that.
and let's be real, Emmitt Smith is an anomaly. He's not the norm. He's the exception.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Listen, I hate the Cowboys, but I always say Emmitt Smith is my favorite player.
He's probably if you ask me like who's my favorite Cowboy, and I hate the Cowboys, but I would have to say Emmitt Smith. But Emmitt Smith was on a completely another level. It was the exception and not the norm. Just like if you want to talk about Emmitt Smith for the Cowboys, Jerry Rice was the exception and not the norm.
Oh my goodness.
For wide receivers. So
yes.
For someone to think that about an Ezekiel Elliott, who came out pretty hot when he came out of Ohio State, that's just ludicrous. It's lunacy. But yeah, he's. I really think he's washed. I think he's done that part. And then the other factor that you have to factor in is just the current running back market, how people view running backs. Running backs come a dime a dozen, and the league got $10.
That's all they got for these running backs. That's it.
They come a dime a dozen, and they come a dime a dozen, and you got $10, not $1, $10.
They drafting these running backs in day 3 or rookie free agents and say, hey, look, we're gonna rotate 3 or 4 of you guys and keep it moving.
Right. We're not gonna put all our hopes and dreams on one running back and hope he can be our bell cow. That's not the
Hey man,
move.
listen, perfect example is right there in the Cowboys' backyard, right happening right now. Where was Deuce Vaughn drafted? What round?
Like 6.
Okay, and he's one of the stars of the offseason. Look,
Yes,
they
he
talking
is.
about he might be the new Darren Sproles. So
right.
We don't find out unless somebody pop the mess out of him. Because the difference between him and Darren Sproles was small, but Darren Sproles was extremely strong.
Have you not seen Deuce Vaughn? Deuce Vaughn's been shaking and hurting people.
Well, we'll see. Because
I'm pretty. I don't know. I done seen this man miss, and I've seen him truck a couple people, and he got up and was just fine, and the other person wasn't.
Okay, well, we'll see.
All right. So the big topic of the offseason, one of the biggest topics of the offseason, is going on the West Coast in the state of California, up north in San Francisco. The 49ers quarterback situation is very, very interesting. You have Trey Lance, who threw some bad passes in the preseason game on Sunday. Sam Darnold.
Horrible passes.
Sam Darnold
had one good pass he threw the entire game.
He had one good pass he threw the entire game. And
Sam Darnold.
And then Brock Purdy. Well,
Brock Purdy didn't play in that game, and then
he didn't play. Okay,
he probably not going to play the preseason.
Yeah. So the thing about that is, and I wish Steve was on tonight so he could try to argue his point and I could crush his point.
I'm about to say, do you want me to go or you to go?
I'm finna go because
I got some stuff to say.
Kyle Shanahan is not a developer of quarterbacks. He is not a coach. He is a brilliant offensive play designer and play caller. Yes. But then his play calling is suspect in crucial points of the game. We're not going to go there because this is preseason. But the way Trey Lance is right now, much of the fault falls on Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. That's it. And you can't go anywhere else with that. First of all, he got injured in week 2 of last season. Trey Lance, I'm talking about. He got injured in week 2 of last season. He hasn't played. It hadn't been in live action. That was his first time in live action in almost a year. Okay. Then you throw him behind a shoddy backup offensive line. Now, let me be clear. I'm not finna sit up here and be a Trey Lance apologist. There was some horrible reads he made. He made some bad reads. He didn't see the field. There were guys open that he just flat out missed. And when I say missed, I don't mean he threw the ball and missed them. I mean, he didn't see these guys open. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? You know, a lot of that is rustiness. A lot of that is inexperience. And it's just looking like, here's the thing, what I think is going to happen. Trey Lance, the 49ers are going to wind up, they're going to play Trey Lance this year as the backup more than likely because it's cheaper. Bottom line is cheaper to just keep him because his dead cap is going to cost them more. And then you got the Bosa contract looming, and they need every penny that they can spare because Bosa wants to be the highest paid defensive player in the league. So I digress from that point. We can get back to that later. Trey Lance is going to end up getting either traded this year or next year for pennies in value because he has no trade value. People have seen him play, and it's like, we're not giving you anything more than maybe a 6th or a 7th.
Right.
He'll wind up on a team. Follow me now. He'll wind up on a team where he's the backup, and the coach is a quarterback whisperer. You know, he'll wind up somewhere like maybe being the backup in Jacksonville, or be the backup in Denver, or something like that, something along those lines. And then you got a real coach that can cultivate him and really bring his skill set to bear. And he's going to come back and he's going to make the 49ers, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan look stupid. That's what's going to happen because we've all seen his physical attributes. We've seen his physical skills. If you watch the game against the Raiders this past Sunday, you'll notice that his mechanics got better. His footwork was better. His spirals were tighter. He was able to layer a lot of balls, but he wasn't seeing the field. Now, that's, in my opinion, a lot of times you can't fix the physical, but you can fix the mental a lot of times. So if you got a good coach that knows how to bring somebody along, you can make the most out of a really raw. He's just really raw. He's really green. That's the biggest issue with Trey Lance. And Kyle Shanahan wasted him. John Lynch wasted 3 first-round draft picks drafting him, you know, and he never really got a fair shake. And I honestly feel like, and I'm a big Trey Lance fan, but I honestly feel like he needs some new scenery. What really has me terrified more than anything else is the overall quarterback situation in San Francisco. If Brock Purdy is not anything remotely like he was in the last 7 games of the season, the 49ers are screwed. When I say screwed, I mean possibly not making the playoffs screwed. That's how dark this can get. If Purdy is not fully healed from that UCL injury and doesn't have Purdy, we know he has the acumen. He's a smart player. But what happens when I see the guy open and I got to layer this ball over the linebackers in front of the safeties just right with the right amount of velocity to get Brandon Ayuk on this deep crossing route. But he doesn't have the on strip because he hasn't fully healed yet. And it's an interception. That type of thing. If that happens and Brock Purdy is not who he once was because of this injury, because this is nothing to play with. He didn't just hit his funny bone and was like, you know, oh, okay, I'll be ready in a minute. No, he had major surgery on his elbow. And if he's not what he was last year, the 49ers are in trouble. He doesn't need to be over the moon, fantastic, Aaron Rodgers, you know, that level of play. He just needs to be as good as he was last year. If he's as good as he was last year, then the 49ers will be okay. But if he takes any steps back, I mean, just a half a step back from where he was last year, the 49ers are screwed. And it's sad because the team, all the skill positions, I mean, God, look at that. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, who's on a tear right now because he didn't feel like he did well last year. Brandon Ayuk, who said, I'm going to get paid next year, either by y'all or somebody else. I'm proving to be I'm one of the best receivers in this league. George Kittle, all pro. You know, you got these guys, these skill positions that are out here. And if you don't have at least competent or adequate quarterback play, they're in trouble. Bottom line. And I don't even want to get into talking about spending the third round on a kicker who missed both his kicks Sunday. But go ahead.
All right, Tristan.
I'm about to say, am I getting tagged in?
Yeah, you
Tag.
get that. Oh, definitely.
All right, so boom. If Trey Lance does not pan out and Brock Purdy takes a step back, heads got to roll, man.
I agree.
Heads got to roll.
I agree.
Heads have had to roll, and it starts right at the top. Because let's go back on this, and I know you're going to agree with me. I know you about to amen this entire thing. Yeah. The 49ers gave Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch a 6-year contract to assemble this roster, right? And get a Super Bowl. At the most important position, you squandered 3 of those years because you traded 3 first rounds for this kid that had a grand total of 19 starts, in which the last season he played in college, he played 1 game. 1. And y'all drafted him number 3 after trading 3 first round picks. So 3 years of that 6-year contract y'all got, 3 of those years were invested into that kid. If Trey Lance does not develop, then y'all have squandered this entire experiment with a Super Bowl team. Not just a team that had a Super Bowl defense or a team that had a Super Bowl offense and needed a no. You have a Super Bowl team.
Roster.
You have a defensive player of the year in Nick Bosa. You got Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk,
2 fast
Trent
linebackers.
Williams, Fred Warner. All you're loaded. You're loaded. Christian McCaffrey, you're loaded. The only other team that can probably contend with you talent-wise on paper right now would be the Eagles, as far as the NFC is concerned. That's it. Ain't nobody even sniffing sniffing the 49ers. Not even close. And all you need is you don't even need all world quarterback play. You just need this guy to be in the top 15.
Competent.
That's it. Top 15. And now, the argument that I've been hearing, because I've been saying it on Twitter, the argument I'm hearing, well, I mean, Trey Lance is responsible because all the other quarterbacks have been successful in Kyle Shanahan's system. Let me tell you something. That's even more of an indictment on Kyle Shanahan. Why? Because in Kyle Shanahan's coaching career, who did he draft that he cultivated to be a quarterback in his system?
Nobody.
He inherited smart QBs or QBs that were all world talented. When he was the OC for Washington, he had RG3, had world class speed and a whip for an arm. You can do things with that. And you had Mike Shanahan, his daddy, that was the head coach. So all you had to do was focus on offense. All you had to do was focus, how creative can I make this kid in this system? That's all you had to do while still having the brain trust of your father. You went to Atlanta and you made Matt Ryan, who everyone considered an upper echelon QB, you made him an MVP. But then you still fumbled the bag and made bad decisions that cost you a Super Bowl against the Patriots. So that's an indictment right there. Then you go and you get the coaching job with the 49ers. You went and you say, oh, give me Jimmy Garoppolo, and then you're gonna be good. Okay, Jimmy Garoppolo wins you games, but you see that his talent was mid and he always got hurt. Then that's when you went and made the move and said, look at this kid Trey Lance. Look at all this ability. Look at all these physical tools. Oh my gosh. So if I put him in my system, he's going to be good. You sent them scouts out there to North Dakota State University. You're the one that looked at his 19 games of film. You're the one that scouted him. You're the one that said that you wanted him. Y'all made it publicly known that that's who y'all were taking when you made those trades. That was your decision, Kyle Shanahan. So I don't want to hear anything about Trey Lance this, Trey Lance that. Yeah, he has to be accountable for it. He's a professional. He should have handled his stuff like a pro and learned what he needed to learn. But Kyle Shanahan has to take the brunt of this because you're the one that cultivated this in a time frame where there were other quarterbacks that were better than him that you could have put in your system and possibly got a Super Bowl. Grant, I might say this thing. I honestly believe that if you had gotten Kirk Cousins and fought for Kirk Cousins instead of doing this, you might have gotten to the Super Bowl because I think Kirk Cousins is a step up from Jimmy Garoppolo. So you might have actually got there and did something. You might have struck hot and got lucky. But
Kirk
no.
Cousins is Jimmy Garoppolo with a better arm.
But that's what I'm saying. At times, you needed a better arm. You needed a better arm in that NFC Championship when he underthrew that pass and ended up getting intercepted. You needed a better arm. That's what I'm saying. So you might have lucked up and gotten away with a chip with Kirk Cousins because he has a better arm. So if you have that, and he's an underrated athlete, better athlete than Jimmy. So instead of squandering 3 years worth of first round picks that you could have bolstered more talent, one of those first rounders turned into the trade for Dallas from Michael Parsons. You're welcome, Dallas. So you could have really set your team up to really, really make some strides and gotten one of these QBs to come and help your offense. But instead, you put three of your
All your
six
eggs in
years
one basket.
3 of your 6 years in the basket of Trey Lance, and now he looking terrible, and you over here ducking and hiding. No, no, no. If he looks bad, and if Brock Purdy, because we don't know, Brock Purdy is mystery relevant. People forget Brock Purdy is mystery relevant. It wasn't that he was just drafted late; he was drafted last. So we don't know what Brock Purdy going to be. Now he had that great stretch. That's awesome, and I actually wish him well. He's a great kid. Watch him at Iowa State. He was cool, but we don't know what he's going to be. But if he regresses and trade, we already know what Sam Darnold is, so I don't even need to go there. If he regresses and Trey Lance ain't what he's supposed to be, I promise you, every show, I'm going to back up Eric every show until Kyle Shanahan gets fired. I promise you, because this is ridiculous that you're letting Kyle Shanahan be play like he's this boy genius. Yes, he's great at offense, but he's not a good leader of men. He
He's not a
cannot
good
galvanize his
quarterback
team.
developer.
He can't galvanize his team to make the extra push, to make the extra stride. Y'all want him to be Sean Payton so bad. He's not it. He's not that person. He cannot do that. He is a great coordinator. That you put a strong head coach in front of him, you're gonna do great. But the moment you give him the keys to make decisions,
Ooh,
no.
he makes bad decisions.
He
He
also
makes a lot of bad decisions.
he also needs a veteran quarterback that can lift the team to the next level. That's
Well,
what he needs.
here's the thing. I'm going to address what Tristan said about Kirk Cousins
Go
because
ahead.
we talk about squandering resources. Mark my words. I'm not playing. I'm not even playing about this. Brandon, who's a free agent next year?
Kirk Cousins at quarterback.
So if Brock Purdy does not pan out, don't you know that they gonna spend
Yes.
millions of dollars to get Kirk Cousins and further financially hamstring the team because quiet as kept. We don't even know if they're gonna get this Nick Bosa deal done. I'm starting to
And
lose faith in that, and I blame John Lynch. You've been on Shanahan for the last few minutes. I'm gonna get on John Lynch. You knew this man's contract was coming up. You knew he was the best defensive player in the league. You knew that he was going to ask to be the highest paid defensive player in the league.
they needed to pay him before he go on that award.
That's what I'm saying. But the point is, even then, if they'd have paid him before this offseason process started with camp and all of that stuff, that's what should have happened. John Lynch is notorious for paying his players late. He wasted the exact last minute to pay players. Don't believe me? Look at the Debo Samuel situation last year. It took forever to get Debo paid. They knew what Debo was. He had just come off an all-pro season. Why you not? Why you waiting to pay him? Give him the money right then. And the thing is, they're happy once they get paid, but guess what happens? They haven't been in camp. We get injuries. George Kittle, same thing. He had to wait. I think he didn't get paid to the end of August. Like, he missed out a lot of. Well, he showed up for camp, but he wasn't in the best shape. Stuff like that. That you don't mismanage. You know what kind of players you got. You know what they're capable of. You know what they're going to do. You can see the age that they're at, so they're still in their prime. But you wait for the exact last possible minute. John Lynch is a procrastinator, an unnecessary procrastinator. So you got right now, you got Nick Bosa sitting at home on the couch when he should basically be in camp. So now you got questions about your offense because you don't know what Brock Purdy is going to be. Now you got questions about your award-winning top-ranked defense because the heart and soul of your defense, the catalyst of your defense, your best pass rusher, the best pass rusher in the league, is at home and he not in camp. You got freaking Cleveland Farrell lining up in Nick Bosa's spot.
Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly. Now, to be fair, Cleveland Farrell did play really well Sunday.
I'm about to say he did all right on Sunday.
Yeah, he played well, but
He ain't Nick Bosa.
He's not Nick Bosa, and it's a testament to just the defensive line coach Chris Kosaric, because he takes trash and turns it into like gold. So that's what he does, which takes me right back around talking about Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is talented when it comes to putting together a staff. Kyle Shanahan is talented when it comes to play design. Kyle Shanahan is talented in many things, and let me not besmirch him all the way. But when it comes to decision making, it comes about personnel, and in tight moments of big games, he does not have it. And I have been saying this for the longest. And people are like, "What? You're not a real 49er fan?" No, sir. I am a real 49er fan because I question everything that the organization does. That's questionable, and they've done some questionable things. Like, for example, spending a third rounder on a kicker who can kick balls all the way across into other zip codes. The only problem is they're not going through the uprights. Jake Moody was a I was like, oh my God, we spent a third. He was on my big board, but for late day 3. And they took him with the third round, excuse me. And I'm like, what the heck? This man proceeds to make almost every kicking practice. He gets in a real game situation. He misses a 50-some yarder indoors. Then he misses like a 40-some yarder indoors. The second one was so bad, gentlemen. I don't know if you saw that kick, but the camera had trouble tracking the ball. When I say wide right, I'm talking about wide right in another state. Okay. The ball landed in New Mexico. They were in Nevada. Okay. And I'm sitting up here going, and y'all spent a third rounder on this. And people wonder why I'm so hard. I have so much vitriol about Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. They are the worst type of coach and general manager because they do just enough to make the team relevant, but not enough to get them over the hump. They're not awful, but they're not great. They're not even mid. They high mid. It's like, oh yeah, the NFC Championship and then lose. As a 49ers fan, it's frustrating as hell. And people who always talk about that I'm on Kyle Shanahan too hard, that's because your team ain't been winning enough. You ain't used to it. Period. That's it.
And plus the 49ers have a tradition anyway.
Cowboys, Packers, 49ers, history of winning, used to winning. We are spoiled fans. So we like, no. We came from Joe Montana to Steve Young, and yes, I'm about to say his name too, Jeff Garcia.
Hey, look, Jeff Garcia was a good quarterback.
And have not had another good quarterback since Jeff Garcia. If Alex Smith was about the fourth one. He's about the fourth one. Kaepernick's fifth. But we used to good quarterbacks.
Kaepernick was one PI away from a chip.
Man, look here. So yeah, Kaepernick and Alex Smith probably 1A and 1B.
Look,
3A and 4A and 4B. Yeah.
And Alex Smith went through 500 different offensive coordinators.
Yeah, that's not really much of an exaggeration. Yes.
People don't understand how smart Alex Smith.
Oh no, I know he was smart. Oh, he was definitely smart.
Had he had consistent just a well-functioning organization at that time, y'all probably would have got a Super Bowl with Alex. I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah. Alex was great at Utah. Like, he was intelligent. He was one of the fastest at releasing that ball back in college at that time. Like,
well, I mean, it's dead now, but there's that old debate about, the 49ers should have drafted Aaron Rodgers instead of Alex Smith. Let me tell you something. If the 49ers would have drafted Aaron Rodgers instead of Alex Smith in 2005, their careers would have flip-flopped. It'd have been the exact opposite. Alex Smith would have probably won a Super Bowl somewhere else.
Yes.
And because he went late to a better team where he got to sit behind somebody. And Aaron Rodgers would have been on that team with 7 or 8 different offensive coordinators, and they'd have been calling him a bust. And he'd wind up being a backup or a bridge quarterback to someone like a Pat Mahomes, and then been out the league. That's basically what would have happened. And so I get tired of that debate. That's a dead debate, So, but yeah, we digress because we're talking about the debacle of the offseason that the 49ers have had. From the Nick Bosa contract debacle, he's still not in camp. You got to go into rumors are saying that he may not get signed until the season starts or after, which is bad. The third round kicker, and now the quarterback debacle. And right now, only thing that the 49ers are holding on for a thread with is the hopes that Brock Purdy is what he was last year in them last 7 games. That's hope. But other than that, if that falls, that's it. That's the last domino.
Yes. Mr. Irrelevant is the saving grace for Kyle Shanahan.
Oh my goodness.
And the thing about it was really going to piss me off because let's say Brock Purdy comes back plays with his hair on fire. Let's say that happens. And he proves it. No, I'm for real. Kyle Shanahan is going to get all the credit for that. And I hate it.
And not realizing that, okay, so you could have kept those 3 first-round picks and had Mr. Irrelevant and had an even better team.
And Purdy could actually come in and play with his hair on fire, meet the Eagles in the doggone NFC Championship, beat them. Let's say he got to play, I don't know, Kansas City in the Super Bowl again, because all intents and purposes, they could get back. And then beat them. And Kyle Shanahan's going to get all the credit for that. That's what's bad. And it's like, no, you drafted this kid to be a camp body. Let's be real. You didn't draft him like, oh, he's going to do this for my offense. No, you drafted him to be a camp body. You screwed up and did well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to love it as a Niner fan to get that 6th Lombardi if that were to happen. But I'm going to be like, man, they're going to be on Kyle Shanahan's jock. They already was on his jock before.
Exactly.
And I could see through the smoke screen. As a fan, I can see through the smoke screen, but most people can't. And it's like it'll be worse. It'll be worse. Now, if you ask me, gun to my head, hey, what would you rather have, another Lombardi and Shanahan getting all this love, or would you just have Shanahan get exposed for the mid coach that he is? I'm gonna take the trophy. Don't get me wrong. If they got to slurp up Kyle Shanahan all day and night, let them. I don't care. I want the trophy. But at the end of the day, we really know what he is. The people that really follow and pay attention, we know what he is. We know what he is. So. But Derek Carr in New Orleans, y'all. Derek Carr in New Orleans. Man, I think they got something.
He look good.
Look, I'm not surprised that they got something because we know how good Derek Carr is. The Raiders messed up by bringing in Josh McDaniels. They should have brought in somebody else to be the head coach. But, Derek Carr's a good quarterback. We might have been unanimous as who was going to win the NFC South. I definitely know I picked the Saints.
Oh, yeah, they going to win that walking away. They gonna win that division.
Yeah, so I mean, Derek Carr. I mean, I know Kamar's suspended for 3 games. I'm not worried about that. Chris Olave is the no, is it Chris? Yeah, Chris Olave is the main receiver.
Michael Thomas is back for now.
Yeah, Michael Thomas because always often injured.
Yeah,
But
because if he get a hangnail, that's it.
yeah, but if he stays healthy, then that's a good number 2 receiver to have. Jimmy Graham is a red zone threat. The defense is nice. I mean, Derek Carr, New Orleans Saints win the division. Probably will have the 3rd or 4th seed, probably more so the 4th seed, because they'll probably end up being behind Detroit in the NFC North, and then San Fran in the West, and probably Philadelphia in the East. But yeah, New Orleans will have that 4th seed, like I said, win the division, and like I said, I'm not surprised. Just keep it moving.
Yeah, I was kind of impressed. They had some issues with they had some issues in that game against the Chiefs, but again, this is preseason.
Of course,
let's not put too much stock in there. But I think they're on their way. I think they're gonna win that division walking away, and they might just pull out the a wild card week win too, depending on who they have to see.
yes.
It just depends on who they have to see, because they run into a buzzsaw, then no. But I do like Derek Carr being there. There's still some people who are Raiders fans who like, especially after this weekend, you got Raiders fans like, yeah, see, we told you we ain't need Derek Carr, and it's like, yeah, but that dude that went out there, was O'Connell? No, was it O'Connell? I think that was his name.
Aiden O'Connell, right?
Yeah, O'Connell. He played really well, but we're talking about the backup quarterback against the 49ers backup defense. Okay, so we'll see. But he played well enough to where he might be able to cause a controversy in Las Vegas with him and Jimmy Garoppolo.
You think so?
Let me tell you something. I had the misfortune of watching Jimmy Garoppolo play for my team.
I know that, but no, Eric. I know where you're coming from. Are they really going to have a quarterback controversy with the Raiders? Right now, I just don't see that. I don't see that happening. Jimmy Garoppolo, that's Josh McDaniels' guy.
Jimmy Garoppolo's entrenched as a starter, no question. But what's Jimmy Garoppolo known for?
Turning the ball off. I mean, making bonehead decisions and being injured. Go
back and say it again. And being what?
Bonehead plays.
And being
injury prone.
But
that's okay. Let me say this. And like I said, I know where you're coming from, but we got to have reality too, okay? Derek Carr is the starter. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo is the starter, sorry. Yes, he can be injury prone, but unless Aiden O'Connell comes out here, well, if Garoppolo gets hurt, unless Aiden O'Connell comes out here and comes out guns blazing and stays consistent, then no, there won't be any quarterback controversy with the Raiders. It's going to be Jimmy Garoppolo even when he comes back and being healthy.
Okay, so Garoppolo gets hurt. Aiden O'Connell comes out and wins some games they're not supposed to win. Then if Josh McDaniels does not take a serious look, I'm giving a scenario here. If that happens and Josh McDaniels does not take a serious look at Aiden O'Connell over Jimmy Garoppolo, then he does not need to coach football ever again.
Well,
as a head coach.
No, I get that part, but my question is, hold on, what I want to say with Jimmy G and Aiden O'Connell, I think Aiden O'Connell will get a lot of looks as long as Jimmy G is not playing, and that will give them, a short-term answer. Now, you can always go back to, you can always go to the next offseason and give him some first-team reps and maybe have a quarterback controversy then. But this season, like I said, unless Aiden O'Connell comes out of nowhere and just comes guns blazing and stays consistent with it.
And I feel what you're saying, but I'm gonna be I'm gonna be fair. Again, Aiden O'Connell was out there with the second team offense against 49 second team defense. So he
Right.
could go out there against starters and completely lay an egg.
Right.
What I saw in him was the confidence and where to go and knowing where to go with the ball. I mean, he did some really good things out there. And that's one thing that oh yeah, no, we've already said that.
No, I'm just pointing down because I want people to see that.
Yeah, the Raiders are gonna miss Derek Carr.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But going back to what I'm saying about Aiden O'Connell, because see, my concern with the Raiders was this offseason was okay, Derek Carr is gone. You just brought in Jimmy Garoppolo. And also Jared Stidham is gone. Jared Stidham, who also played really well. So who's your backup when Jimmy Garoppolo ultimately gets hurt? Or he can crap the bed all day. Josh McDaniels is not going to go away from him. But if he gets hurt for a substantial amount of time and Aiden comes in and looks more competent than Jimmy Garoppolo, which let's be honest, folks, it's not a very hard thing to do. Hey man, there should be. I'm gonna qualify my statement. There should be a quarterback controversy. Not will there be? Maybe, probably not. But should there be? Absolutely. Then you talking about a guy who's basically on a rookie deal, and Jimmy Garoppolo, who's not very expensive, but
you can still save some money.
You can still save some money.
No, I get. Hey, look, I get it, and like I said, I get everything you're saying. I just know that right now, as of August 15, 2023, I just don't see a quarterback controversy brewing out of Vegas.
No, he got to play. He got to play some more. Like honestly, after watching him play against my team, I say, you know what, I'm gonna follow this guy. Like at the end of the Phantom Menace, Star Wars Episode 1, and the Emperor walks up to Anakin when he's a little boy and goes, "I'll be watching your career with great interest." Yeah, it's like I want to kind of check this kid out and see what he's got, because it's better than watching our quarterbacks right now in San Francisco until Brock Purdy actually starts playing, which he's been completely, fully, medically cleared to play with no restrictions as of this week. No restrictions. He can play. He was already cleared to do light practicing, but he's been fully cleared now medically. So we're going to see. We'll see what this elbow is, because I'm going to tell you about those Tommy John injuries. You either come back with a better rocket than you had, or you come back weaker. There's no in between. A lot of them baseball players will tell you when you had that surgery. So we'll see.
All right. There was a question earlier about the Chiefs. Do you think Patrick Mahomes going to another Super Bowl?
Yeah. It may not be this year. He may skip a year, but let's be real. I'm gonna be real, and I'm not trying to sound like a fanboy or anything like that, because I could care less about the Chiefs, but I recognize talent when I see it.
Oh yeah,
the man has got the it factor. Yeah, Chris Jones. See, Chris Jones and Nick Bosa are two of the biggest contracts right now. Both of them want to be the highest paid defensive player in the league right now. So, but going back to Pat Mahomes is the next generation of what Tom Brady was at this point in his career. Like I don't think he's never missed the playoffs in his career.
No, he hasn't.
Okay, and he got like 2 more championships in him. Okay, I think he's got more than that. Honestly,
well,
yeah.
Well, you got to remember. You got to remember he's not undefeated in the Super Bowl. He's 2-1.
No.
He's 2-1.
He's 2-1, but hell, Brady lost 2 Super Bowls.
3.
He lost 3.
2
to the
Giants, Eagles.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so he lost 3 Super Bowls. Pat Mahomes only lost 1.
Right.
And he's got this. You got to realize Pat Mahomes has not hit 30 years old yet. Yeah, he's barely. He hasn't hit 30 yet. That means he has not. Y'all, the man has not peaked. Okay? The man has not peaked yet.
But you know
So
what? Tristan
answer
does.
the question.
Go
To
ahead.
answer the question about do you think Pat Mahomes can win another Super Bowl, it's unequivocally yes. Does that mean he gonna win it this year? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But he gonna be right there. Because another thing that he does, and we talked about this ad nauseum before, is he knows how to manage his money to where it's like, no, I'm not gonna break the team because I want to make sure everybody around me gets paid. So I got a solid team to play with. I don't have to be the highest paid quarterback if I don't need to be. I'd rather this guy, and that guy get paid. So they still on the team to protect me, to catch the ball for me, to play defense, to get the ball back for me. I mean, he got the right attitude about it. And again, he has not peaked. That's the thing. We
No,
haven't
I get
seen
it.
the
I
best
get
of
it.
Pat Mahomes, I don't believe.
But I think one thing, Joe Burrow is a quarterback that kind of stands in the way to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, hell,
Um,
Tom Brady had Peyton Manning.
oh yeah, of course. Josh Allen may stand in the way depending on what they do to play calling in Buffalo.
Phillip Rivers. I'm
Yeah.
just making comparisons.
No, I get it. I get it. That's interesting that you said that because that made me stop and thinking. I'm gonna name one more quarterback in a minute, but Phillip Rivers had a better offensive play caller as a head coach in North Turner. The problem with that was North Turner was not the type of coach to get them over the hump. Ooh.
What
Mm.
do you say? The
Bill's
Bills win by
window is
12.
closing. He put that in all caps. He said
Yes.
no more.
Well, that's the thing right there. Is that that's why I made the comparison to Phillip Rivers. That's why I didn't make when we said Josh Allen, I didn't say Ben Roethlisberger. I said Phillip Rivers.
Mm.
That's why I made that statement. Now,
Mm.
history does not have to repeat itself. It can be a completely different ending to this narrative. But right now, Pat Mahomes, and then you got Joe Burrow, who's basically the Peyton Manning to Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady. So, like, I think Burrow's gonna get one before he's done, like Peyton Manning did. But at the end of the day, when they say the GOAT, they're gonna be saying Pat Mahomes. By the time
Mm.
his career is over, it's gonna be a huge debate years and years and years from now about who was the greatest. Noah Turner is old Kyle Shanahan. Yeah. Let me try to finish my point before you put another.
Sorry. I just thought it was interesting. He's bringing up some 5 points.
But the years from now they're gonna be having that controversy, just like when they were saying, is Joe Montana the GOAT or is it Tom Brady? Now everybody's unequivocally saying that it was Tom Brady. There's gonna come a point in time in our future, depending on if the whole globe doesn't burn up from this heat wave, or if aliens don't come and take us over. But if basically somewhere in the future there's going to be a debate, we may still have this show. We'll be talking about who's the greatest quarterback of all time. Is it Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes? And there'll be some guys that are below him that were great, but not on his level. You'll have your Joe Burrow. You'll have your Jalen Hurts. You'll have your Josh Allens. You'll have that. You might even have like your Justin Herberts and your Trevor Lawrences, because they have great potential to be special. But right now, barring any catastrophic injury, Pat Mahomes is on a trajectory the same as Tom Brady's, but he's kind of in a lot of ways ahead of Tom Brady at this point in his career.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Who do you compare Jalen Hurts to?
Honestly, probably Donovan McNabb.
So what you're saying is that he will be a quarterback that can make it to the conference championship a lot. He's already made it to a Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
but he just may never get over that hump and actually win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that because Eagles. I'm just saying he reminds me of Donovan McNabb. Whatever exigent circumstances that would happen will prevent him from winning it all. Because right now, the Eagles could probably run roughshod over the NFC, and go head to head with the Niners. And if everybody on the Niners is healthy, it'll probably be a close game, but the Eagles will pull it out by one score. Then they go over to the Super Bowl and play whoever comes out of that damn AFC. And it's gonna be a different party. It's gonna be a different party. It's gonna be different music they're gonna be dancing to. They found that out when they got to the Super Bowl. Hey man, this Kansas City, man, we're not playing with you right now. So that's what I think. Now, am I saying Jalen Hurts will never win a Super Bowl? No, I'm not saying that. He might go a step further than Donovan McNabb, but right now his comparison is Donovan McNabb. You want to compare those quarterbacks in that era, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, Donovan McNabb, right up in that era right there.
Right.
If I was making comparisons, and like we just had an impromptu topic just now because we didn't even plan to talk about this, but that's my comparison. If you ask my opinion about it.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah,
that is fair.
And we had time right now, so again, thank you all for tuning in. Those that tuned in, make sure and tell a friend about us. Give them the YouTube link. Have them subscribe. Hit that notification bell to let you know when we go live. Because we're not always right at 8 o'clock. We're a little bit after 8 o'clock, but we're right there on every Tuesday night. So subscribe, hit the notification bell. We need the subscribers for our YouTube channel. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on
Twitter, Facebook, and
it's X now. It's not Twitter.
Man, I'm calling it Twitter. Okay, I'm not calling no stupid X. I'm calling it Twitter. Okay, I'm still look. I even put in the description. I'm still calling it Twitter. Okay, forget all that X stuff. Twitter. Look, we're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Okay, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, IG, and TikTok. Matter of fact, Trisha put a good video up on TikTok that I also put up on the IG and Facebook accounts. Okay, Twitter. Okay, Twitter. All right, tweet. No. You can still tweet. Okay, you can listen to us on Google, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Twitter. Okay.
And make sure you follow us on TikToks. We have takes all through the week. We talk about different topics that pop up. And sometimes they're professional quality, sometimes they're real quick takes. So they may be taken from while we're driving or we're in our bedrooms or hey man, I just heard about such and such and we want to talk about it. So check us out on TikTok and make sure you follow us.
And on Twitter too. Twitter, okay? We'll tweet.
He pronounced that other T real hard.
Twitter. Okay. Anyway.
I'm through with you. I want to go to bed now. I got to work in the morning.
I got to go to work tomorrow morning too. Shoot, I'm tired. Anyway, that's the defensive mind, the Austin 316 of this whole show, man. Panel 316, Eric, coming straight out of Chopper Screw City. I am the NFL Encyclopedia, the Wildcat quarterback that runs this thing, Coach Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, good night. Peace. There you go, right there. Put it in there. Twitter.